Good afternoon, people. Let me just say, first of all, you're beautiful in the eyes of God. God loves everybody he creates. And he doesn't always love the choices we make, but he loves everybody he creates. And he's inviting each one of us to a relationship with him through his son, Jesus. He prescribes the way, and we have to embrace the way he prescribes if we want to know him. That being said, he has given us as his people a most powerful tool, the tool of prayer. He loves to hear us pray. He honors our prayers, and he encourages us to pray without ceasing. And he encourages us to pray for people. So that being said, I want to share with you the secrets and inner workings of Streets of Prayer. It is secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm going to share with you the method of us conquering the world. I'm going to show you how we will take over the whole world. And so I want you to stick around. I'm about to share my screen. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you is a bit on the mathematical side. It's not very complicated, but even if you hate math, you'll learn a little bit. We're going to show you how we're going to grow using the geometric series. So I'm going to secure my screen and show you how we're going to take over the world. So here we have our Excel sheet. Streets of Prayer, we're going to use 2019 as the official launch date. Streets of Prayer officially started November 2017, meaning I bought the domain name at that date. But the app didn't really get started until later, and people getting invited and signing up. It was just a thought in my head. So 2019, January 2019 is the start date of people signing up, and the person who signed up was me. And I was one person. I adopted 7 people in prayer. My goal was to have 7 people in prayer, being covered in prayer at the beginning of 2019. And there were actually 7 people covered in prayer at the beginning of 2019, because it was me praying for those 7 people. So the next year, the beginning of 2021, I wanted to add 84 people to be covered in prayer. And the way I needed to do that was I needed to invite 12 people to join the movement who would adopt 7 people to pray for. And so 7 times 12 is 84. 84 plus my 7 equals 91 total covered in prayer. And so here's where the geometric series is. It's you go down 12 to the power of the year. So this was the first year, 12 to the first power, 12 to the second power, 12 to the third power, and then so on until we finally get to year 2028, which is the 9th year, and we cover the whole world in prayer. So by the beginning of 2020, we needed to have 91 people covered in prayer. Well, as of now, we have 1,867 people covered in prayer. We are actually ahead of our 2021 goal. But then 2022 is going to be a hefty jump because it's growing exponentially. We're going to need 13,195 people covered in prayer. That means everybody who has signed up for Streets of Prayer needs to invite 12 people to join the movement. And they become part of their movement. So each person creates their own movement by inviting 12. And then when you invite 12, and those 12 adopt 7, they become part of your statistics. So if people from from their list come to know Jesus, you'll get notified and you'll get to see it in your numbers that 20 or 30 new believers came to Jesus, from your tree, your prayer movement. So that's how we're going to grow. Now, one of the things I was going to say is I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. So we're growing. So we need that. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. So we need 12. You need to invite 12 people to keep this thing going, to keep staying on track. Now, it would be nice if you invited 12 and all 12 signed up, but that just doesn't happen. What I found, and I've gotten it over the last a couple of years, I've been able to track what is the return, what percentage of people actually accept your invitation. And so I found that if you want 12 people to sign up, you need to invite about 60, at least 60, because it's about a 20% return rate. So what I want to ask you to do, so we can keep going down the line and conquer the world in prayer by 2028, I want to invite you to join the Streets of Prayer movement and start praying for 7. Then, over this next year, I want you to invite 60 people through the Streets of Prayer app. And it's very simple. You put their email, you put their name, and then that's it. We'll send the invitation. And so hopefully by over the next year, you will have invited your 12 people would have signed up. And the reason I need you is because of this, is I can't pray for 8 billion people by myself. I would love to cover the whole world in prayer. And if I could do it by myself, I mean, it still wouldn't be ideal, but I can, because I did the math. And let's say I were to pray for one person every second. And I mean, that means just praying for them once for the rest of my life, just praying for them once in 1 second and moving on to the next. I would just be rattling off names 1 second at a time, which I don't even know if I could do. And then if I spent the next 50 years of my life doing it, so basically that's all I did for the rest of my life, was just rattle off every name in the world, I could only pray for 1.5 billion people. I'd be running short of 6.5 billion people. And so that's why I need you. There are 1 billion professing Christians in the world. If we each pray for 7, we cover the whole world. And we don't just pray for those 7 once. We have the liberty to pray for them every day in and day out, every week, 1 for each day of the week. And we just keep praying and praying and praying. And together we can cover the whole world in persistent prayer. And we can do it by 2028. So if you haven't joined, please join. Let's do it. Let's work together. Let's cover every person, every street in prayer. Thank you for watching. And I'm looking forward to seeing what God does through your prayers.